finishing 5th in the MVP race. He was, at one point, when you saw him on TV, you had to stay there on the channel and watch him because he was a little electrifying for what he was doing at his size and how he was scoring the basketball. He was scoring and playing up above the rim like he was at least about 6'3", 6'4". How he was getting to the basket. The injury came, his sister died and everything like that. And it's a shame how all that's just kind of messed with his career right now. I want to see him shake back. You know, I still don't think he's a max contract player because they've messed with him a lot on defense, on the defensively. But I want to see him shake back. I really want to see him shake back and prove a lot of people wrong that he's still an all-star caliber player, contribute to the team and help them to the playoffs and try to make a run for the NBA title. See what that's going to happen with Isaiah Thomas. So other than that, with the NBA news, I'm really just at awe because I just don't think that it's hard for me to really get excited for the NBA coming up. You know, me and my buddy, we had a conversation the other day. He said the NBA is ruined, which it is. And it's just not in a good place right now. It's not a good place. It's in a bad spot. There's not a lot of good coming out the NBA. It's just not a good spot right now. If you're not a fan of the Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets, LA Lakers, Philadelphia 76ers, and the Boston Celtics. If you're not a fan of that, you just don't have, your team's just not a good, your chances to win a title is just not good. Sad to say. So let's go in let's move on. So like I said, it's that time. It's that time of the day. You know, I told y'all this is what I like to do. The one division a week, at least, as we get closer and closer to the NFL season is coming up on us. I don't know about y'all, but I'm very excited. Now, this division I'm about to talk about right quick, let me give you a little intro for them. This division, I told y'all probably months ago, this is probably going to be the best division in football if they stay healthy. Yes, it is. It's officially the AFC-South. Teams that includes the Indianapolis Colts, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Tennessee Titans, and the Houston Texans. All 4 teams got a legit chance to win the division. I had a Twitter poll question about them this yesterday, matter of fact. I know, let me tell you all the percentages about them. I know for sure, Jacksonville was winning the percentages. I think it's about to end in a couple of minutes, probably about an hour from now. But I'm about to tell y'all right as we speak, Jacksonville had 45% to win the division, according to Twitter. Everybody else was a 3-way split. 18% between Houston, Indianapolis, and Tennessee to win the AFC South this year. And that's I think that's very fair. Now, even though I didn't get a lot of votes on it, a lot of people really have been voting about football. They've been voting a lot about basketball on Twitter. But even for the 11 that did vote, I appreciate it. But I think that's very fair. I'm sorry, somebody else just voted. 19% Tennessee Titans. Somebody just voted. Just voted. So on that note, so let's talk about it. The injuries happened last season. You think about injury with Deshaun Jackson, J.J. Watt went down, and Tom Savage, Deshaun Watson, Tom Savage, I'm a savage. He had to step in, and he's really not worth too much of a bag of cookies. Then you start thinking about let's think about another team, Tennessee. Tennessee took advantage of their opportunity. They made the playoffs last year. Jacksonville won the division by just playing great defense and running the football. And Indianapolis still up in the air when it comes down to the health of Andrew Luck. Now, if all teams are healthy, I think that puts the pressure on Jacksonville. Now, I'm going to tell you why, because I really don't know if Blake Bortles is there to be the guy to get you over, to have you a chance to win a championship. He was just a drive away from going to Minnesota and play in Minnesota, play the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl, which would have been probably a very, very interesting game defensively if the defense would have came to play, knocking some people around, and they would have game control running the football. That would have been a hard game for Philly to win. I think if they would have ran them off the football and defensively they were knocking people around, that would have been a hard game for Philly to win. So let's think about it right quick, guys. So let me rank each team when it comes down to quarterback. Number one, if he's healthy, no doubt in my mind, Andrew Luck is one. The success and how he runs the program, he's definitely one. Number two, Deshaun Watson. Once again, I think potentially he could take that one spot this season, especially if Luck don't play healthy this year. He could probably be the best quarterback in that division. He's gonna put. I'm waiting to see him versus Andrew Luck on a Sunday night if they both healthy. That's gonna be a great game between the two of them, slinging it out. So I'm waiting to see that one. Number three, I'll have to say Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota is stepping his game up to another level. What he did in Kansas City, he just carried the team on his back, and he had a lot of help. I think he's trying to take the next level, and that's why I'm going to get on Jameis Winston after a while about Marcus Mariota. And then number four is going to have to be Blake Bortles. And that's saying something. Granted, he took his team the furthest last season. He took them to the AFC Championship game last year. So, but he took him off a run of football. If he could have proved to me that when New England finally made the ball stay in his hand and took it out of Leonard Fournette's hand, if he could have got through and won the game through himself, I'll have more respect for him. But, I think he still got the upside to prove himself to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Because let's think about it. Like, I think you look at some of these young guys like Derek Carr, Jared Goff, who's another one? Carl Golf. I know they got a few other young guys. Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, these are the future of the NFL. And Jared Goff took a big improvement last season by taking his team to the playoffs, even hosting the wild card games against the Falcons. Still gonna get better in my personal opinion. I'm gonna get on them in a couple of weeks. But the NFC West, and think about what he can do. Potentially, when I think about him and Ty Gurley together, I think about Drew Brees and LaDainian Townsend when they were out there in San Diego. And I think that's very fair. If they both can play at the top of their games, I think you could really see the next Drew Brees and LaDainian Tomlinson the same way you saw out there in the West Coast and for the San Diego Chargers years ago. That's a great team. So I want to see if Blake Bortles can take his game to the next level, because obviously they did re-sign him. They got him to come back this year. He did improve. But now he got to take the next step to see if he can lead his team to a Super Bowl. I played the game the other day. I played Madden 15 for the first time in a long time. I went and bought Madden 15 from GameStop for the Xbox One just to play a football game. It was nothing more than $1 and something. And I played the Saints versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 49. Super Bowl 49. And I won 16-14, but the same type of methods that was in today's game was take away the run, because they were trying to run the football. Now, granted, no Leonard Fournette back then. It was Denard Robinson from Michigan, the quarterback. Take away the run, stop the run, force Blake Bortles to throw the football, and defensively on the opposite side for the Jaguars, the attitude was still there. So all these years, they've been solid defensively, making plays on the defensive end. It's just the offensive end been a question, and been the question under center. So I'm really anxious to see what he's going to do this year to improve himself, to give himself a great chance to get back to the AFC Championship game and call that number as well. But he got a lot of competition, because I think Mariota, if Luck healthy, and Deshaun Watson healthy, I think Houston probably the one behind Jacksonville. I think that's going to push the most this year. And you never know, Tennessee might take that next step as well. So I think Houston is going to be the one that come right behind Jacksonville and pushing them the most, because I think every AFC South divisional game this year is going to be like a playoff game. There's no room for error. So day one, game one, there's no room for error for the AFC South. I think this is going to be the closest division in football this season. Because I think if they healthy, especially if they healthy, who's going to stop these boys? Who is going to stop these boys? So my divisional champ would, just preseason ranking. I like what they got on defense, and I want to see if he's going to improve. My preseason champion will be the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Jacksonville going to win this division. I think Houston going to finish second. I think Tennessee going to finish third. And I think Indianapolis going to finish fourth. And that could all change as soon as we know more stats about, Andrew Luck. I know he's been throwing, but will he be ready? Will Jacoby Brissett be the starting quarterback again? I don't think even he be the starting quarterback for the first 4 games. Let's just say they go 1-3. That's a kind of an error. I think this division going to be that close this season for these teams. So we got to wait and see about that one. So let's talk about Marcus Mariota. So I was thinking about Mariota in that draft class a few years ago. And, let's think about Mariota was Heisman Trophy winner, came behind Jameis Winston, won the Heisman Trophy winner. He also beat Jameis Winston in the same calendar year. He beat him in the Rose Bowl, and he beat him for his first NFL game of his career that year. Now he beat him to the playoffs. He got to the playoffs last season. He even won a playoff game. So now going into year 4 of their careers, he's still ahead of the game. Jameis Winston suspended for the first 3 games of the season. And I was thinking, my homeboy is a big Florida State guy. He and he to a degree, he loved Jameis Winston, won a championship for Florida State, got that true, he got the tangibles to be a great champion in the NFL. And he was talking when there first came out investigation about Jameis Winston, we did with the Uber driver, whatever. ESPN was saying, ESPN Radio New Orleans was saying that Tampa Bay should potentially think about tanking this season. So I called them on the phone and I told them what they said. I said, I think they're going a little too far, so I think they shouldn't tank. And he said, nah, they shouldn't tank. They shouldn't tank. You definitely shouldn't tank on, already after 1 year. But I said, I do feel that to a degree, if he put them in the hole again, since he put them in the hole to start the season, you might have to consider thinking about moving on from the man. I wouldn't tank, but you might have to consider moving on. Well, he felt like that wasn't the best idea to a degree. But, when you think about it, this league is a business, Mariota won his first playoff game. He came behind Jameis with the second pick in the draft. He also beat Jameis in the same calendar year. And he also, to a degree, is a step ahead of Jameis because he's not in no trouble. He's getting better. And I think if Marcus Mariota, now I just said Jacksonville going to win the division, but if Tennessee finds a way to sneak up and win this division, go at least 11-5 and 12-4, have a chance to potentially be a bye team in the playoffs, and Tampa Bay find themselves again 5-11, 4-12, 3-13, or at least something like that. Jameis Winston just not playing well after the suspension. You got to start thinking about it. I'm sorry, because, it's like, now to me, it's in your ear, but to a degree, this young man ain't getting his attitude right, man. You playing in the probably, in a degree, I gave the AFC-South the best division in football if they healthy. So my second division probably be right behind, and that's going to be the last division I talk about, will be the NFC-South. 3 teams made the playoffs last year. When you look about the other 3 quarterbacks in that division, you got a Super Bowl winning champion. You got 2 NFL champions, league champions. In the last 10 years, 3 teams has went to the Super Bowl. 3 teams went to the Super Bowl. 1 team is only won. 3 teams went to the Super Bowl. You can say 1 quarterback about to be the all-time leading passer in the game. Another quarterback just added more weapons to his game, as in Matt Ryan. Even Cam Newton as well. Cam got weapons now. Defensively, I think both teams have improved defensively over the years from where they used to be. I still give the edge to Carolina, probably more the better, smarter defense in the division. In my personal opinion, they just don't hold on to their key pieces because people just leave. So I give the smartest defense probably be the Carolina Panthers, in my opinion. But I'll tell you what. So, if I'm Tampa, and let's just say New Orleans, Atlanta, and Carolina make the same run again, get back in the playoffs again, and let's just say one of them 3 teams make it to the Super Bowl. Remember, it's in Atlanta this year. And let's just say one of them win the Super Bowl. 3 teams in my division went to the Super Bowl again. Went to the playoffs again. 1 went to the Super Bowl, 1 won the Super Bowl, and guess what? We still sitting at the bottom of the abyss, in an abyss, with a quarterback who still want to act childish. We got to move on. We have to move on. We got to move on. we gotta start thinking about moving on.